Hi there, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to teach you how to play blues riffs in the key of E. We'll get right into it. I'll be doing a shuffle in the left hand here. On the 1 chord, I'll do a quick 4, and back to the 1, 4 chord, and 1 chord. 5 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5 chord, and then it repeats back to the 1. I'll be doing that all throughout. There's a lot of variations we can do on that. I've got a different video kind of going more into just shuffle patterns in the blues scale, but for this one I'm just going to focus on some riffs I like to play. And I'll have a backing track in the description as well. For that one, it's just going to do not a quick 4, so the first 4 bars stay on E before it goes to A. But for this I'll be doing a quick 4, and the first lick I'm going to show is a minor third to major third riff, and we're kind of going to be outlining the 3 chords of our blues, our E chord, our A chord, and our B chord. And with that we'll be doing that, where we kind of hit the root, slide from the minor third to the major third, and then up to the 5th. And then we kind of walk back down. We can do that on each of our chords. That being our 4 chord, and for our 5 chord, the pattern's a little more like this. Sometimes I'll do chromatics like that, walking up. So we can kind of vary it from just the minor third to major third, or adding a chromatic up to the 5th. So let's hear what that sounds like with the shuffle. Up to our 4 chord, 1 chord, and we'll go up to the 5 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, or 1, and then ending on the 5 there. So I like to do that chromatic up to the 5th as we're going to the 5 chord at the end of the form, but we can also do it throughout your solo. So let's try that one more time. I'll vary going to the 5th and just doing the minor third to major third. Here we go. Whoops. Maybe I'll just do some blues scale with it. Blues scale, minor third to major third, up to the 5th. So just to go over that blues scale really quick, it looks like this. I have another video where I walk through that a bit more, but we can play the blues scale up and down in between our different riffs that we have, like I just did. And that goes true for all the riffs in this video. All right, so we've got sliding up from the minor third to major third. We can do chromatics up to the 5th, and we got that for each of the 3 chords, along with our blues scale that we can intertwine. The next riff I'm going to show is what I call the flat 5 riff, and it's got a couple variations. For starters, we'll be playing octaves like this of E, and then walking up that blues scale, then we kind of highlight this flat 5 note here, that B flat. So walk up, like that. We'll do it again nice and slow. Let's hear what that sounds like in context. Walked up to the 5th there. Again, land on that 5 as we hit that 5 chord before we go back to the top of the form. So yeah, you can just kind of mess around with that. You can highlight this and play it a bunch. You can also walk up to the 5. Another thing I like to do with this flat 5 is just slide it to the 5 with the root on top. So that can be like this. Maybe walk down the scale then. Our other flat 5 lick. Blue scale. Alright, so we've got our flat 5 lick like that. We also have this one. We can kind of play with both of them. Combine them together however you see fit. And then we can also still use our minor third to major third riffs, our blues scale, and our minor third to major third going all the way up to the 5th, like that. So I'll play kind of combining the ideas so far. Minor third to major third, blues scale. I'll do a flat 5 riff. So you can already see with just what we've got, there's plenty of things we can kind of play with and combine in different ways to make each of our solos unique. Another riff I like to play is what I call like a bebop riff. Looks kind of like that, where we start on an E, walk chromatically down to our D, our flat 7th, and then jump back up to the 9th. And then it kind of ends with a root to 5th. So we can throw those into our blues. We can also do a similar pattern. Instead of starting on the root, start on the 5th. Like that. Let's hear how those sound. Kind of throw some blues scale in. Back to bebop, flat 5 to 5, bebop, and sometimes I'll do a chromatic up to the root, like that. We can throw in a lot of chromatics just highlighting different chord tones for what chord we're on or what scale we're playing in. So yeah, let's do one more round. I'll do some more bebop stuff and continue combining the other riffs we know. Bebop, flat 5 to 5, blues scale. I'll do a flat 5 riff. Minor third to major third. Another minor third, major third. I'll keep doing that. Chromatic up to that 5th. Blues scale, flat 5 riff. Minor third to major third. Flat 5 riff, another sliding 5. back up to the E. A couple of little mistakes in there, but just kind of showing the general ideas I like to play as I'm improvising. All right, so we've got our minor third or major third, our flat 5, our bebop, and another thing we can throw in there is what I call pentatonic fourths. So our pentatonic scale looking like that, and if we skip a note between each one, for a lot of the notes that ends up becoming the fourth interval, this one happens to be a third, but we're just taking that scale and skipping a note in between each one to get a lot of fourth sounds with 1/3 in there. We can play the notes together like I'm doing now, up and down, or we can play them separately up and down. Down. These are our pentatonic fourths, I call it. With our little through a chromatic in there at the end. So let's hear some improvising with that. Pentatonic fourths down. Pentatonic fourths up. A little flat 5. We'll play the notes together. Pentatonic fourths. Bebop lick. Do some more fourths. Flat 5 riff. Whoops. Just kind of doing some blues scale. More blues scale. Pentatonic fourths. Right there, I'm just kind of highlighting a dominant 7th chord, added a 9 on it at the end. Alright, so yeah, you kind of saw we can play these notes together, play them separate, but just adds another nice little flavor to add to our solo. Do one more round of that, some more pentatonic fourths and other riffs. Blues scale. Minor third to major third. Minor third to major third. Chromatic up to that B. Pentatonic fourths. Blues scale. Some flat 5 riffs. Blues scale. And I'll do some more pentatonic. Another fun riff I like to play starts like this, where we're sliding that flat 5 and we have the D note, our 7th there. You can play it like that, or the minor version. I'll show you the minor version first. So we're kind of outlining in this case, a minor 7 chord. And we have a slide from the flat 5 to the 5 there, with the 7th on top. Then we play the 4th with the 6th, and the 3rd and the 5th. And each time we're kind of bouncing with our thumb. So we can play it like that. And you can kind of take each part of it if you want and highlight more of it. So you can like highlight that and then hit the other notes, however you see fit. And then a little more challenging, but you can make it major by going sliding there like we did before, minor third to major third. Like that. So I'll do a round first using that riff, the minor version with the blues form. Let's hear how it sounds. Little trill on these notes. Chromatic up to the E that I like to do. Awesome, that sounds good. Let's try that with the minor third to major third in there. Another trill. All right, so those are the 5 riffs I wanted to go over, but let's I'll do a solo just combining all the ideas along maybe with some just regular blues scale stuff thrown in. Here we go. Flat 5 riff. Our fun riff outlining that 7th chord. Blues scale, bebop, flat 5, blues scale, minor third to major third, whoop, up to the 5th, more minor third to major third, again on B, in A, do some more bebop. Octaves are always fun. Doing our flat 5 riff. Flat 5 to 5. Blues. Walk up the blues scale. Chromatic at the end. And we'll do one more round showing some more like pentatonic 4th type stuff here. Bebop. Blues scale. Pentatonic 4ths. Cool. So yeah, I like to play around with all these riffs, and then, you know, you can combine them in your own ways, make them into new riffs, and yeah, just makes improvising a lot more fun. Hope you enjoyed, and more to come. Thanks for watching.